let's get into it because we got a little
Are we rolling?
We got limited time here.
Yeah.
So let's just.
Oh, do we? I thought you pushed your.
An extra 15 minutes, but
Hey,
still.
all right.
Yeah. Look, we got to talk about Rob's parking job this morning because it was fantastic. When you pull into a garage, by the way, when I pulled in, it was the only car in the garage.
When I pulled in, there was no cars there. And I was like, oh my God, I got to do this as quickly as possible and get out of the garage because it won't be funny if they pull in right now.
Yeah, it's very funny when
there was no cars there.
So for listener at home, Rob parked sideways, taking up 2 spots.
But diagonally.
Yeah, diagonally. And
Sideways would have been incredible.
Yeah, diagonally. and specifically the spots that are labeled Charlie and Glenn. He took our spots and double parked, and boy, it made my morning, man. It made my day.
Did it? I had the exact opposite reaction. I was like, this is so fucking annoying.
I almost went to Rob's spot and did the same thing over there.
To take up so that I had nowhere to park.
So that you had nowhere to park, and I was like, no, it's fine. Just the one.
I would have come in furious.
I know.
Furious.
And so I let it be.
There is a world in which maybe I would have found that funny, and for some reason this morning, and I'm not in a bad mood or anything. I wasn't in a bad mood when I showed up, but for some reason I didn't find it funny. I recognize that it is funny. I will say that, but it's like one of those jokes where it's like if somebody pushes you in the pool, Everybody thinks that's fucking funny, but it's like, you just pushed me in the pool, you motherfucker. You pushed me in the fucking pool. I'm fully clothed. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I need to fucking change my attitude or something. I saw Jill and I were in Mexico, and we were at a hotel, and we were hanging out by the pool, just chilling. And there was some like wedding party that was there. And there was one morning where, it was like a group of people in their 30s, and this one girl pushed her girlfriend into the pool. She was fully clothed. And I was like, oh, this will be interesting. I wonder how she's going to react. She just laughed. Yeah. She laughed, and she just was like, well, I guess this is a swimming dress now. And everybody else laughed. And then she just kept swimming. Yeah. And I was like, man, I wish I could be that person.
Well, you got to know the audience.
Furious.
I know, but you got to know the audience. I know I would never do that to you, but I have like 4 friends I would do that to. Our friend Matt Manick, for example, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like you could throw him into the middle of the ocean off of a cruise liner, and he would think it was funny, right? And I know that I would not ever do that to you because you wouldn't find it funny. But this morning, I knew for a fact that Charlie would find it funny, and I thought 50-50.
It's a 50-50 chance,
50-50.
Well, this is the problem with comedy, right? This is not all jokes are for everybody, and there's a lot of. There might be people out there that can never find parking that are finding this conversation really upsetting. Because they're like,
I'm that person.
For most of us, parking is very difficult. And you motherfuckers have a garage with just parks galore, and you think it's fun to park your car however you want. You're not being sensitive to me.
Well, there are plenty of spots in that garage, I think.
Yeah, but they're not. They're bad spots. They're not good spots. So that's part of it too. But also so now because I'm like, I'm not going to have somebody jammed in next to me. So I just took up 2 spots. Yeah. I took up 2 spots too.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
It happens. Well, this actually has everything to do with this crazy thing that happened last night. And I wanted to bring it up to you because I was thinking, wow, this is kind of falls in line.
That's quite a build up.
Yeah, exactly. With like this parking thing that is like so stupid, but also but it's something like people have to deal with on an everyday basis. And I don't know if I did the right thing, but I want to get counsel. I want to hear everybody's point of view. I would love to hear Megan's point of view as well, because I want to figure out how I can move forward should a something like this happen again. I will say it was the closest that I came to a physical fist fight in 10 years. Okay.
I'm so excited about this. All right, let's get into it.
Wow. We were milliseconds away.
When did this happen? Sorry.
Last night.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So
you and Caitlin?
Caitlin left on Saturday morning to go shoot a movie in Canada.
All right.
Leaving me solely in charge of the safety of our boys.
Wow.
Now, I'm going to tell you, there's we don't have anybody helping or anything like that certainly over the weekend. So It's just the three of us, you know, doing our thing. And we had this plan to go to dinner to InNOut Burger, which is like an exciting thing to go, you know, on a Sunday night.
You're taking the kids to a burger joint. Yeah. And you're going to get
there's a lot of people that are listening to this that have never heard of InNOut Burger. I'd never heard of InNOut Burger.
No, I think most people have heard of it.
It's a California burger chain. It's very good.
It's very good.
It's a higher quality.
Yes. And people love it. They love it.
Yeah.
We are not sponsored by InNOut, so let's not.
We are.
My
kids love it. My kids love it too.
Let's not go crazy.
So,
it's good,
now this one is in the heart of Westwood.
Okay.
Right? For Westwood people, that's where UCLA is. It's in like
college.
A rather nice area. It's a college area.
Okay. College burger joint.
So we pull up, it's like 5:30, but now it's daylight savings, so it's nighttime.
Yeah.
The kids are jazzed. Axel's sitting in the front seat. He's 11. Leo's in the back seat. He's 9. And we pull up and we realize, as InNOut always is, there's a line of cars.
Yeah.
And so the way that it's set up is that you have to go around the block, basically. So I see that there's a line of cars. I'm like, the kids have been looking forward to it all day. We're just going to sit. I'm like, guys, you want to sit in the line? They said yes. So I go around the block and I pull, and I'm probably like the 15th car. So we're going to sit here for 30 minutes. No problem.
No. InNOut's, they got it down to a
They're
science.
trying to get you in and out.
They are trying to get you in.
Fair enough.
Trying to get you
they're pretty fast, but go ahead.
Fair enough. I would say you're definitely in for a little bit of a wait.
Absolutely.
Okay. And it did turn out to be about 30, almost 30, like 25 minutes, which I would never normally do, but my kids were super excited.
Yeah.
So we're waiting there. We're like 4 minutes into it. We're listening to In the Heights soundtrack. We're singing along. We're having a blast. It's all fun. It's all good.
Yeah,
and
we're listening to musicals, you know, as one does.
As the McElhenney family does.
Sure.
We're listening to musicals.
That's not,
okay. And the car, so at one point we're in this line and a car, and I shit you not, you could not have scripted this better. It was a Rolls Royce.
Oh, man.
A fucking giant Rolls Royce. And this guy decides he's coming the opposite direction. So he just turns into the line, right?
Yeah.
Right at me, like trying to get in between me and the car that's in front of me.
Yeah.
But I think, well, there's no way he's trying to get in the line because now there's like 10 cars behind me.
Wow.
Right. Yeah.
So, right.
So, and
he was out of Grey Poupon and there was an emergency.
That's a real thing. People in Rolls Royces, they fucking love that mustard.
Hey, the Poupon. Right,
so then I think this guy's probably just trying to do like a U-turn.
He's trying to like turn around.
Yeah, turn around and then continue down the street. Like,
right.
There's no way somebody could be this much of an
It's not even on
asshole.
your radar because you're like,
it's so outrageous. It would be so outrageous.
Yeah.
So then I realized like, he's not backing up to complete the 3-point turn. He's actually thinking he's going to get in between us, right?
Can I ask a detailed question?
Yes.
Did he use his blinker?
I doubt it. I doubt it because this kind of person is not using blinkers. He does not get fucked.
This is the thing. Like, I have a real whatever. I just, if he had his blinker on, I'd be like, all right. But no blinker, you don't get in.
Well,
you don't get in. I don't let anybody in who doesn't use their blinker.
By the way, I'm furious.
Okay.
Hold on a second. I feel it in my body.
It wasn't like, oh my God, I messed up. I'm so sorry. Or I'm in a rush. Or can I? This guy just pulls a fucking Rolls Royce.
I deserve this.
Yeah, I deserve this.
Okay.
Yeah. So once then the traffic starts piling up because he's blocking traffic.
Oh my God! Oh,
and
what
then
a dick.
and then I roll down the window. I go, "Are you trying to turn around?" And he goes, "Back up, back up." And I said, "I'm sorry, you talking to me?" And he goes, "He let me in." And I said, "What?" He goes, "Let me in."
Oh boy.
And I turned to Axe. Now I have my children in the car.
Yeah, that's tricky. That's
tough.
tricky.
And I took
tough.
a deep breath and I rolled down the window and I said, "Motherfucker, you are not getting in front of me. So I don't know what you're gonna do, but you better do it right now." And he looked at me and I looked at him and I looked back at my kids and I was like, oh shit, he might get out of his car.
Right.
And I can't stay in the car because if I do, I don't know what this guy's gonna do. I don't know if he's gonna smash the window or whatever.
Well, you don't know. Yeah.
So I grabbed the key fob because I'm like, if I get out, I got to lock this door to lock them in.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's all happening so fast.
Good
right?
show.
Sure,
Wow,
sure.
that's pretty
So
quick thinking.
I also think if I have the key fob in my hand and if I have to throw a punch, it won't break my hand. It'll whatever. It'll make my hand stronger. Like this is all happening fast. So I see him start to get out, and I start to get out, and then he stops, and then I stop, and then all these college kids are like, "What the fuck is going on?" And then finally he pulls back in, and then he rolls up his window and he starts looking at his phone. And I was like, and Axel's like, "What's going on?" And I was like, well, I'm just handling something. Hold on one second. And then I said, and then but cars honking. The guy's not moving. So I said, what are you going to do? Nothing. The car finally pulls up in front of me. So I pull up and the guy gets in behind me, because behind us, I noticed, were two young women who were like clearly like college aged women who were like terrified of what was going on.
Right.
And were like, I'm not going to get involved with this fucking lunatic. So they let him in. So now I'm looking in my rearview mirror. We're now in line together. And I keep looking up to see, like, he's behind me. I'm like, is he going to get out of the car? But I'm like, I'm not getting out of this fucking line. We're getting our cheeseburgers. Now, Axel and Leo, I'm checking in with them thinking if they're scared. They're so psyched. They're like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. But guess what, motherfuckers? We're getting our cheeseburgers. And they were like, yeah, we're listening to In the Heights. Okay.
That's the best part. Is just like you're rolling the window down. It would have been better if you were listening to some like Oklahoma or something.
Wait,
you know what I mean?
Yes.
I'm a little confused on something. Sorry.
He keeps going.
I need
Go
some
ahead.
clarity.
Yes.
So you're in the line. He tried to get in front of you. You called him out.
Yes.
And then he got behind you. But now you're all just like in the line together.
Correct. But
God, I wish when you rolled your window down, you were listening to like "Hello, Dolly."
You know that when
or like
what happens, it
Annie.
all becomes like a blur.
I need a little more information.
Okay.
Did you get a good look at it? Did he look like a Conor McGregor kind of?
Yeah, so that was
like,
what was that. That's the
Right.
scariest part to me, is that I wasn't even paying attention to that.
Yeah.
I didn't know if there was 4 guys in there or 1. And then I was like, I took a deep breath and was like, thank God there's just like 1. And I think he saw that I was ready to go, and then he wasn't, and I was like, thank God. And also thank God, I don't know who this guy is. Why is he driving a Rolls Royce? He could be a gangster. He could have a gun. I don't know what the fuck's going on. But it turned out he's just a bully pussy. So thank God. So now he's behind me, and I keep looking in my mirror, not because I'm trying to antagonize him, but because I'm wondering, like, if this guy gets out of his car, I'm gonna have to do something about it, right? And I'm not gonna leave. I'm not going to leave because I feel like that sends the wrong message to the kids.
Right.
Now, of course, but let me finish the story and then I'll go back and ask a number of questions because I'm not sure that I handled this 100% correctly. But I figure, okay, now here we are. So I shit you not. We go to turn the corner because the line is literally going around the block. It's a blockbuster, the InNOut. And as I go to turn, another car, a third party, gets involved. Okay, now this is 2 guys. And they pull up and they try to jump in. And I literally have to
in front of you.
In front of me again at the turn.
Let me ask you another question here.
Yes.
Are you leaving an awkward amount of space between?
No.
You're jammed in. You're jammed in.
Yeah.
But just so the listener at home, because I'm using my hands to display, but you're saying there was no like odd amount of space between your car and the car in front of you. For some reason, they think you're the car to jump in front of?
It was
You're
because
in
of the
the
way
spot.
that we were positioned.
Yeah.
Because of the way we were positioned.
Where
Meaning,
you
like,
are
yes,
on the corner.
I was making a right turn.
Got
so
it.
there's only so much, and then there's a walkway, and there's college kids everywhere. So you got to leave a little bit of a space. But it's not a merge. Do you know what I mean? Where if you're on a freeway and you got to merge at the end, whatever, you're keeping track. This is people literally knowing they're jumping in front of you.
Wait. Let me ask you. There's no way from where you're positioned that it could be accidental. Like they couldn't tell that you were in
There's
line.
absolutely no way.
Okay, continue.
Okay. It's so 100% clear because in and out there's always like a line like this, right?
Trying to get the big picture.
All
here.
great.
And then
questions.
also
All great
based
questions.
on this person's response, these 2 guys. So they pull up and then they like literally they're jerking their car in towards me. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Sorry,
what
did
the
they
fuck?
see what had happened between you and the Rolls?
No,
or this is
no,
they don't know
this
what.
is like,
oh my
this
God.
Is like 2.5 minutes
Totally
later.
unrelated. Totally.
And then Axel's like, what is going on? And I was like, I'll tell you what's going on. And I opened the door and got out. Now I'm out of the car.
Yeah.
And I pointed at the guy that was driving. And I was like, turn this fucking car around right now and get to the back of the line. And then he stopped, pulled up, drove around and went to the back of the line. And then I pulled up and got in the car, and Leo was like, you're very upset. And I was like, I am very upset. And he's like, is everything okay? I'm like, everything is 100% fine. Now, meanwhile, my adrenaline is through the roof, right? But I'm not going to I don't want them to feel like scared or whatever. So I jack up in the heights because now I'm like, fuck this. Like now I'm like,
this is my favorite part of the story.
We got to play this cool. So Piragua comes on and we're singing Piragua. Piragua, Piragua. I don't fucking know.
I've never.
Now I'm at a 10. My kids are having a blast. They're like, are you going to get in a fight? I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I keep checking in with motherfucker behind me. He's not even looking up past his phone.
He's moved past it.
Yes. And now there's like all these kids around watching, like, what's going on? I hear some guy go, is that Mac? And I was like, hey, what's going on? They're like, this is crazy.
Oh, right.
I'm like,
right.
I know. Yeah, it's a bunch of college kids.
Oh, my
They're
God.
all like, this is nuts. I'm like,
wasn't even
I don't know
thinking
what's
about
going on. I just want to get a hamburger, guys. And then
they're watching one of their favorite, possibly one of their, I'm going to say it's probably one of their favorite shows. One of their favorite characters on TV, like almost getting a fight with like multiple people.
I'm 44 years old in a college town, but I was...
Are you being filmed yet? Like, this is the stuff that like the internet's made of.
Yes.
Like to see you get your ass kicked on top of a Rolls Royce in front of a hamburger joint in front of your children.
Hamburger store, is
like the kind of shit that goes viral forever.
Mac gets beat up in front of a hamburger store.
100%. So this is all like flashing through my head as fast as possible because
so you got to watch out for the humiliation factor,
the humiliation of being beaten up in front of your children, let alone the world.
I know. You better win if you're going to get out there.
He's going to win.
Continue. I know you would.
I think the guy saw that I was like ready to go.
And you had justice on your side.
Yeah. Well, that's what I believe. That's
a powerful ally.
Yeah.
So then now we're in line and we're like ordering food, and I'm just like, okay, I guess we're just going to go through this very normal process, which is exactly what we did. We paid the people, we got our hamburgers, and we went home.
Mm-hmm.
And then I sat them down as we were eating, and I was like asking them questions. I'm like, how did you feel? Like, was that like, are you scared or were you nervous? And they were like, that was awesome. Like that was the scariest part. Is like, they were like, that was super fun because it was like exciting. And I don't think they were ever scared, but I don't know. I was like trying to figure out like, okay, this is a teaching moment, right? But I don't know what the teaching moment is because I was like, look, violence and aggression only leads to more violence and aggression. However, if you allow people to just step all over you and like literally, like the only thing analogous would be like if you're in New York City or if you were anywhere actually and you were walking and you were standing in a line, like at Starbucks, and someone just literally came up and just stood there in front of you and then like pushed you behind. Now, yes, like that would just never happen. Like nobody does that. Nobody has that level of like bully in them or aggression in them. If they do, they're probably a lunatic. But for some reason, you have these cars and there's like a degree of separation. But I did notice that those guys, once they saw that there was a man on the other end of it and a man who was seemingly like insane, like ready to go and fucking beat them senseless, they stopped. And then they got behind and then they cut off the women that were behind us.
Right.
So like, it was like to watch bullies go in and try to bully. Then when you stand up to the bully, then they go and bully somebody else. Like they're not going to learn a lesson.
Yeah.
Maybe they think twice before they do it again. I don't know. But I don't know if I did the right thing. I don't know what the right thing in that moment is. Not putting my kids at danger is number one, and I didn't. I truly did that.
That's a tough one. Yeah. I mean, I suppose there's a step between like screaming, cussing at the guy. Like, I suppose there's a step where you get out of the car and you say, excuse me, I'm sorry, we're in line. Please go back to the back of the line. But if they're unresponsive to that, then you have to take it to the next level. I don't know. Seems like the Rolls Royce guy was kind of there. By the way, I don't think I would have been able to let go of the guy getting in behind me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have struggled with that too. I would have been thinking like, do I get out of the car and tell him to get out of this line?
Yeah.
Because he cut in front of other people. It's not about me. It's about cutting in front of any of us.
Yes.
Yeah. I think I would have had a hard time with that.
Yeah, he bullied the people behind us. Now, meanwhile, what I'm guessing, and this is where I want to check in with Meg, because dudes have to navigate this all the time with other dudes, but I haven't in a long time, like not since I was like younger. But women have had to navigate this for millennia, dealing with men, like finding themselves in these situations. And I'm sure that these women were like, you know what? Fine. Who cares? Fucking get in line. It's a goddamn InNOut Burger. Who cares? Like, but the only thing that I extrapolate from that decision-making process for that guy is that he does a version of that all day long.
But that's right. That's why he was able to calm down and just go straight back to his phone. He bullies all throughout the day, and sometimes he gets away with it, and other times he doesn't. It doesn't fucking faze him either way. Now he's so used to it. It's just normal behavior for him. So he was like, this guy's not going to let me do it. So fuck it. I'm just getting on my phone.
Yeah.
I'll pull in front of these girls.
Yeah. It was psychotic almost. Like,
it is psychotic.
I'm gonna not care about people so much that I'll block traffic.
Yeah.
With my Rolls Royce to get in because people have let me do this for, and then
I physically feel something right now.
Yes.
Like in my body, I can feel fury and rage kind of boiling up in there. It's in there. I'm like,
oddly enough,
just hearing the story.
We went to the batting cages a few weeks ago, and I realized as we were stopping and starting, I realized I had 2 aluminum bats in the trunk of the car because they kept clinking, and I was like, there was a point in which it was already past the event, and I kept hearing them clink, and the more that I heard them clink, the more I was like, if things go south, I know I have those bats back there. I'm going to fucking destroy this guy's car and maybe destroy him.
Yeah.
And I truly believe I would have done it. That's crazy.
Well, you wouldn't have, right? Because you didn't, right? So you do have a stop. Like I think we all have those thoughts in those situations where you're like, I'm going to go berserk, pull a Jack Nicholson, pull out the golf club out of your car and smash the guy's windows in. But you had something that stopped it. Because you didn't do it.
If my children in the car, that's a big one.
Yeah.
But like if you were sitting next to me or you were sitting next to me, I think we would have gotten into a fist fight.
Maybe.
He would have. He got. We were ready to. I was still ready to go, and he did not get out. Which thank God he didn't, because I don't know what would happen.
Well, that's the thing.
Yeah,
like,
he might have had a little gold-plated pistol.
That's what I'm saying.
Like a
100%.
little marble handle, and it gets you right in the thorax, and there you go.
Right.
You're done.
He might have been a fucking MMA fighter. I have no idea.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah,
I know. Yeah, that's the thing.
That's always the thing that I think of these days. Whenever I get into a situation like that, is I'm just like, it's not worth it.
No,
it's not worth it. And the lesson that I'm teaching my kids. Look. I mean, if you're asking what is the right thing to do, I mean, not that I'm any authority on this, but I think the right thing to do in that situation is to just let him in. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you why. Because it's not worth putting yourself and your kids in danger to teach them the lesson of you shouldn't allow someone to push you around. You know what I mean? Because like if somebody holds you at gunpoint and says, "Give me your money," you don't go, "No." Because I would be teaching you the wrong lesson.
Yeah.
You give them the fucking money because you don't want to get shot.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, I think I would have done the exact same thing you did because I have rage inside me, and I don't know why. Yeah. But things that are unjust and things that are unfair. I mean, this is why it ties in with the whole parking thing, right? Because it's the whole walking. By the way, this is what ties into the whole show. This is what our whole show is for me, is lampooning the type of behavior that comes from people who think that they deserve better than everybody else in the world. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And that they should just be able to get whatever they want and do whatever they want, regardless of the consequences that it has on other people. That's something that is so infuriating to me. Yeah. That this is what I channel into the show.
I do believe in some sort of karma. Right, like if you let that guy in, he gets his hamburger first, pulls out, and gets T-bone right the second he like I do think there's some truth to that sometimes in the world. I'll give you an example, almost the same exact scenario. I was in high school. I went to this really fancy private high school. I commuted there, because it was in my town, but lots of kids lived there and boarded there, and they were super rich kids, and I was not a rich kid, and it was a very different sort of thing.
Were your parents the music teachers there, or how?
No. I
Or
just
they
did an interview. My parents said, there's a really good school really close to us. You should just go to the interview process and maybe get financial aid and you can go. And I convinced them that I was intelligent and I had the capacity to learn, which was not the case.
How'd you do that?
I'm good. I'm an actor.
He's charismatic, great actor.
Yeah. But dumb as bricks. So I'm in line in the food line, and there's this kid, and I'm gonna call his name out, right? Can't get sued here. The kid's name was Paul, and he was probably a senior, and I was maybe a sophomore or something, and he was twice my size, and he was a cool kid, and I think he wanted to be an actor. He was like the actor guy, and he like cut in front of me and a couple other guys, and just like blatantly cutting the line, and same sort of thing. My like teenage fury was like, hey man, you can't do that. And just like go in the back of the line. So he comes, he gets right in my face, and it's like, what are you gonna do? Make a move, throw the first punch. He's like, you knocked me out, I won't punch. And I'm like, this school had really strict fighting policy.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't get expelled. My parents have put everything for me to be here. Like this fucking rich kid probably bounced from school to school to school to school. And so I didn't do anything. I backed down, right? He goes in line, gets his food. Then throughout the rest of the year before he graduates, he constantly calling me out, trying to bully me, trying to lure me into a fight, and I never fucking do it. Well, I know this about the kid. He really wanted to be an actor. Well, guess who's a motherfucking actor now? Yeah. You know what I mean? So fuck you, Paul.
Did you ever look him up on Instagram and just see where's he at?
He didn't do shit. So you know what? Sometimes what goes around comes around. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
There's like.
Well, it's also like that guy, right? Royce guy. He's miserable.
Totally.
Because only a miserable person would do something like that. You know what I mean?
I did think that for years, to the point where I was like, I even feel bad calling him out right now. But like being like,
fuck that.
Kid's probably fucking had shitty parents at home, sent him away.
Right. Well, that's true. That's true, right?
But
you don't know what led to that in him. That is a good point.
I know.
That is
but
a good
sometimes
point.
Some people maybe are just monsters, like.
Well, there's true sociopaths, but I think most of the time that behavior comes from being mistreated themselves.
Of course,
and you can look at it that way. So, like, I really do think that the right thing to do is to go, you know what, this guy is miserable, and he's angry, and he thinks he deserves everything, and walking around the world feeling entitled to whatever you want in any given moment is actually kind of a burden. It's difficult. And it makes people into bullies. And
he's the kind of guy that thinks he's got to drive a Rolls Royce so that people like.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I think, yes.
Who wants a Rolls Royce? First of all, that is the biggest, ugliest, clunkiest, stupidest car.
Nobody.
Maybe if someone drives you in your Rolls Royce, if you sit in the back eating
It's a butler's car. We saw one the other day.
It's a butler's car.
We saw one the other day, and it was actually really nice. And Joel was like, that's really, it's nice, but like, it looks like it's like a butler's car. You know what I mean? Like, you don't drive one of those yourself. Yeah. You have a guy drive you. And then that's...
Dude, maybe he was a butler and he gets yelled at all day by the guy he drives around, and he's like, God damn it, and the guy's like, if you don't get me my hamburger by 3:00, you know what I mean? He's like, I gotta fucking just cut in this line. He's like, this guy's furious at me. Yeah. All right, I'll get behind him. And
was he wearing a top hat and tails?
I was open to that. I was literally like, what's going on? What are you doing? And if he was like, I'm so sorry, man, I'm late and I gotta eat and then I gotta go pick up my boss, I'd have been like, oh, okay, this is, no problem.
Right.
He was like, let me in. And I went to it. I picked up the key fob and opened the door. Like I was like, no, that's not going to happen. and
I would do that. Yeah.
How often, where you think, oh no, what I'm doing is keeping everybody safe. In my mind, even though I knew I wasn't, but I'm at a 10, and I'm like, no, I'm keeping my kids safe because I'm teaching them a lesson. I'm keeping this whole area safe. No, I'm not. I'm escalating something into potential violence.
That's right.
Right? As opposed to just going, to your point, go ahead. Go ahead and go in. The fact that it happened again, which is even crazier, is like, oh, this is a thing that happens here every day. right? People stand in line, or they drive around in line, and then other dudes. There's no fucking way a woman has ever done this. Just like cut in and been like, now I'm going.
I don't know that that's true.
I don't know about that.
I bet you that's not
I
true.
think we're all capable.
What's that?
If it was a woman in the role,
I would have had a similar response. It just wouldn't have been physically violent.
Yes, that same. Yeah, exactly. Right. You would have got out of the
Unless
car
she
and
said,
"Get
"Oh my
back
God,
in."
I'm so sorry. Can I just get in here? I need to go do something." It was more like
I'm stuck.
If her
I'm
attitude
stuck.
was
I
like,
can't.
"Let me in, dickhead," which is what he was saying, I'd have been like, "No, cunt."
Yeah, for sure. For
Right?
sure.
Which is totally appropriate.
Yeah.
I mean, and then later on,
I told an 80-year-old woman to go fuck herself once.
yeah, and sometimes they need to. Everybody needs to go fuck themselves from time to time.
I did
And
that.
her daughter was shocked.
Yeah. Well, Axel and Leo have basically spent the night and the day saying, "Go fuck yourself, because that's what I said to the second
Oh,
guy.
boy. Oh,
But
boy. Yeah.
whatever.
All right. Well.
Oddly enough, earlier in the day, now this is not what I'm thinking about while this is happening, but earlier in the day, I have one son who struggles with giving up power and control. He needs to like have control and power. My other son struggles with him giving too much of his own power away. And it manifested in a very silly way, but like the one kid always needs the remote control, like always. And he gets to dictate what they want. What they watch.
No, that
and
kid.
I'm like, yeah, of course, everybody with kids does. And like, this is great. The other kids got to have the remote control now because you have to practice, first kid, you have to practice giving up power and you have to practice taking power in difficult situations. So it was kind of like manifesting itself in real time where I was like, oh, wow. Youngest son, you have to see that like you can't let people walk all over you and just because otherwise they'll just keep cutting in line. But to what point am I saying to your point, Glenn, earlier, like, am I saying actually you should do that at all costs?
Right.
That's dangerous. Like you giving up your power isn't like letting somebody in line in front of you. Imagine the news story, like you said, Charlie, like I have so much to lose right now. My life could not be any better. And
It's also not your job to police the world.
100%.
You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
Although it affects you more directly that they're trying to cut in front of you. Now, if you'd saw it 3 cars ahead, you probably also would have been irritated by it, but slightly less irritated by it. You know, if you saw it 4 cars behind. But
it depends on who I was with. Like if I was
yeah.
with my kids, I would have let it go. If I was with like a friend or if I was alone, I think I still would have gotten out and said something. I think specifically because of who they were cutting off, who they wound up getting in front of.
sometimes you don't have control over it. Like your lizard brain takes over and your testosterone
That's
goes
where I was,
through the
yeah.
roof. And then you're like, I'm equally out of control here.
That's where I was all the way even through the entire process because I'm now the guy's behind me and I don't know if he's getting out. I don't know who he's texting, by the way. At one point I was like, maybe he's texting somebody.
To come meet him there, yeah.
Yeah, and like we have access to the trunk and there was a part of me that wanted to be like, hey kids, grab the bats now just in case, but I don't want to freak them out.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking like, oh, I can get to the bats because I'm stuck now between the car in front of me and the car in the back of me. If this guy's texting his friends to come over here, okay, we got to be ready to rock. So I'm like, I got to get to the baseball bats.
What would you
I'm
do?
a 44-year-old actor. I should not be in situations where I'm like considering getting a baseball bat to fight a guy in a Rolls Royce in an InNOut Burger in Westwood, California.
What would you do?
Crazy.
Would you do double bats, like a bat in each hand, or what? Like what? No,
What would
probably
be my,
not.
my
Right?
bat style? No, I would think I would go
one bat,
Double
right?
bats, you just don't have the strength and
No
speed
one
that you
yeah.
have with a single bat. Double
Yeah,
bats,
unless
is
you're
just silly.
trained in it.
The guy comes
Unless
out
you're
with double
trained in
bat.
it.
Well, if
Yeah.
you're trained in double bats, that's pretty cool.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like if you've
you
like
start
trained,
spinning them around and
if you're
doing
like,
some.
I don't have my swords, but I do have these 2 bats. You know what I mean? Like then maybe yeah. But I think if you're not trained in it, you want to get both
I think
hands
I go
on it.
single bat and then I hand the other one to Axel and I'm like, I don't know where this is headed, man.
Yeah.
But you got a bat.
We're gonna go back to back. Me
Definitely
and you,
don't- yeah.
Axel. You know what I mean? You and Axel back to back, right? Just fighting.
But I tell you what, I think to your question, if you had grabbed a bat
No.
and gone berserk
That's
and started smashing the guy's headlights in or whatever it is, even if nothing happened, it probably would have stayed in your children's memory.
That's right.
And it probably would have
right.
created pathways towards violence for them that
Yep.
made it more accessible. I don't know.
100%. No, I
I'm
agree.
guessing. I'm guessing.
I
but like-
agree, but that would have been an act of offense, not an act of defense. What I was suggesting was like it would be an act of defense, but it's literally like metaphorically and physically like cavemen holding clubs Is like what I got to. I was like, I'm gonna hold a club like a fucking like a caveman.
Get my hamburger first.
To get my hamburger before you get your hamburger.
Get my hamburger. You don't get hamburger, I get hamburger. Come on, caveman talk.
Yeah, and like I was like, I'm gonna be up all night because I'm like the worst dad ever. And as I'm like reading to my kids and telling them good night, they're like, that was awesome. And I'm like, okay, great, like go to bed. And then I was like, I'm not gonna be able to sleep. And then I slept like a fucking baby.
Really?
Yeah.
You thought your adrenaline was just going to keep you up?
Yeah,
I think I
you kept replaying it in your head the way,
Yeah, like I was putting my children in danger, right? But then I don't know. I think my adrenaline just dumped and I just fell.
So you went through that last night, and then you came to work this morning and you thought, it would be a funny joke.
Yeah.
I'm going to take up 2 parking spots.
Yeah, well, I feel like it fed into the story
it's a
too,
joke.
which is
It
the
is a
injustice of it all.
Yeah.
Like if somebody actually parked that way.
If somebody actually parked that way, we would all be very upset. If someone was just like,
Yeah, this is Rob's sense of humor, though, right? I mean, one of your favorite jokes is, somebody texts you, like I'll text you something very sincere, where I'm like, hey, man, I really appreciate, you helping out on set, yes, or whatever. Like, it's like a very sincere, heartfelt text, and Rob will text back, fuck you.
Yeah. Well,
like, and that's your sense of humor.
Something we've had going on.
Yeah, I forget how that started, but yeah,
it's a great joke. It's a great joke because it hurts a little bit.
Yeah,
it hurts a little bit, and that was, I have to say, like when you and I first met, because that's always been your sense of humor, and I've always had a strange sense of humor, and I think it was in there to sort of have that kind of thing, but. You would make jokes and do shit like that when you and I first met, to the point where I was like, I don't know if I like this guy. Mm-hmm. Because I was like, I wasn't quite sure. I was pretty sure that it was I knew it was a joke. But I was like, how deep is this darkness? Is this like a darkness? You know what I mean? That's there, and he's learned how to channel it. Or is this like a dark guy who's going to bring me down?
If this is a Northeast thing, but I find you and your buddies and like that sense of humor to me is very familiar from New England.
I find it comforting.
Yeah. Whereas when I started dating Mary Elizabeth and she grew up in the South and then was in Texas and then out here, that she was less open to like.
Yeah, we don't do that shit in the South.
Yeah. Like,
we don't make jokes like that in the South.
Like ribbing or like, and then I sort of grew out of it in a way where I was like, oh yeah, I guess it probably is better not to like insult someone or through humor or whatever. But I don't know. Yeah, it's a different thing.
Again, it's knowing your audience and depending on who it is that you're talking about and recognizing like, oh, they don't take this the way that I'm intending it, and that's not their responsibility. That's my responsibility to make sure that I'm. But I think I hope that it's tempered. Like those kinds of jokes are also tempered by, and maybe this is why we became friends. Like it's not that I'm deflecting like actual emotion. Like we have very involved emotionally complex conversations and always have. And then every once in a while we think like, oh well, that's our rapport, and then we'll text something about like, hey Charlie, you did a great job yesterday. Like I really miss like shooting with you, and you're like one of the funniest people on planet Earth. And then he'll respond with "fuck you."
It's just fun for the right audience. It's fun.
But I mean, it stings just a little bit because you just said something like truly. So you were like, you know what? I'm feeling something, and I'm going to express this to my friend. And then your friend just texts back, "Fuck you."
Yes.
But it always stings a little, yeah.
It stings a little bit, but that's what makes it funny.
It stings in a good way.
It does.
I feel bad as several times you said I really want to get Megan's take on this, and we've not. And I know
she doesn't want to.
I know you're avoiding the mic, but I would appreciate if we just got your 2 cents on it.
Yes,
if it's
because we can always do like a Charlie Brown thing on your voice, so that we can't really. Yeah, but I'd like to hear from your point of view because it really did feel like 2 men, a bunch of men, like all men, causing abject chaos, and I was like, oh God, this is. I want to hear a female point of view. Do you mind?
You want to hop on one of these mics real quick?
I'll pass you over to.
Okay, you're gonna. All right.
I mean, I don't know what you want my take to be.
This is unprecedented, by the way. This is unprecedented.
Finally got you to speak on this thing. I'll move over close to Rob so we can share this mic.
I would probably just let the person in, as Glenn said. I would be pissed about it, but I would be like, I'm not gonna enforce this if he doesn't listen.
What if it was another woman?
If it was another woman, I would probably roll down my window and be like, hey, there's a line. And if she was like, fuck you, let me in, I'd be like, I'd probably just let it happen. Cause like, I don't know, I'm not gonna fight that woman, right? Mm-hmm. And like also I don't start thinking about protecting everyone in the line. Cause protecting them from what? Like that seems like a big leap for you to jump to.
What about the option of like literally just like just pulling so far? That's what I would do. I would pull so close to the person in front of me that there was no fucking way they could ever get in.
Yeah,
and just keep that distance between me and the car in front of me, and be like, you want to hit my car? Fucking hit it.
I feel
Let's
like
do it.
I would want to demand an explanation.
I got money. Let's fucking do that shit.
I would want that explanation. I'd be like, what are you doing, man? So I want to get him. Like, there was a line, and then I'd be like, why do you think this is okay? Like,
yeah, right. Ask for an explanation.
Explain yourself.
I would not have the emotional response that you did to that situation. I'd be like annoyed because I hate people that don't follow the rules, but no, I wouldn't have ever gotten out. But I don't think you're like a bad person for having done that. I mean, you didn't actually hit the guy, so
I don't know. There's something about knowing that guy walks around.
The Rolls Royce makes it worse.
The Rolls Royce makes it worse. And then the fact that there were two guys later in whatever car they were driving. Now there was two of them, and the fact that they also backed down, right? And I was like, these guys are they're just bullies. They're just bullies. And sometimes I don't know, like. I don't know what you do with it. How do I teach my kid that you should always walk away from bullies? Sometimes you shouldn't.
Yeah, sometimes you should call the bully out.
Yeah. And sometimes you might take take a beating, and that sucks. But the truth is that like the bully is not going to come back after you again. They're just not.
Sure he will if he beat you up. Yeah, he'd be like, I can beat this guy up. I got this guy.
That was never my experience. I mean, because the bully wants to go after the person that they know is not going to give them the least amount of trouble.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I got to beat this guy up again. You know what I mean? Like at a certain point, I look sad.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think you introduced me to Eckhart Tolle, I think about that, and like I feel like I do feel like though the proper response is, it's not my job to police the world. Mm-hmm. Some people are just miserable. Mm-hmm. And if this guy really needs to get in front of me, then, if he really needs to cut the line, then, it's like, I'm not going to teach him a lesson.
Yeah.
He's not going to learn anything today. If anything, he's going to become more entrenched in his feelings and thoughts. And I would be putting myself and my kids in danger. Now, again, this is coming from somebody who, I think I probably would have done the exact same thing that you did. Like, truly. But I'm analyzing it and I'm like, it's not, I really don't think it's the right thing to do. And I think you sit your kids down and you go, because I've always told my kids, I'm like, the only time you should ever get in a fight is if you can't run. Mm-hmm. If you can't run. And the reason is because,
sure,
whatever lesson you think you might be teaching that other person by getting in a physical altercation with them first of all, you're not going to teach them anything. And secondly, you might end up in the hospital. You could end up with a permanent injury of some kind. People get in fistfights, and it's like sometimes it's you got a couple bruises and cuts, and it's no big deal. Other times you get punched in the eye, and you lose vision in that eye,
or you kill somebody,
or you hit somebody so hard they hit their head on the concrete, and that person fucking dies. It's not worth it.
No, of course not. And it's always in reflection that you can kind of come to terms with that. It's like when in the heat of the moment, and people, I think oftentimes don't realize like how quickly those things happen and how you're making decisions based on instinct. Mm-hmm. And it's like within 35 seconds, it was over.
But you probably can condition your instincts, right? Whereas you've had a childhood and adolescence, whatever, where you created some pathways for that. This is how you resolve some of these issues, right? So you've learned that sometimes that works, right? Sometimes physical conflicts, I don't know, I don't want to say they give you what you want, but sometimes that's a way through something. Some other kid, obviously that's never been the option for them. So they didn't create those pathways towards like, okay, this is a place my brain will go. My brain will always go towards make sure I don't get hurt first or whatever.
Well, I definitely have the luxury of having zero violence in my household. Like I never got hit. I never got spanked. I never got any of that. So like, I don't think I have a propensity for violence, meaning like you said, where Jack Nicholson got out of the car and just actually took the golf club and smashed the guy's windows. I didn't take it that far, right? And that makes me feel good, meaning like my instincts are taking me there.
You never got the spoon, the wooden spoon?
No.
Or the belt?
We never got any
You
of
got
that.
a spoon and a belt?
No, I never got a belt. No. Mom got me with the wooden spoon a couple times, but I think she felt so bad about it. That was maybe like 3 or 4 times, and then I think
Where'd
she
she
was
get
like,
you? On the hand? On the ass?
No, on the butt, on the booty. It was I remember she had a wooden spoon that had holes in it. It's like, I guess so you could,
get the air. You could get the airflow, so it actually moves faster.
Yeah, I'm not
towards the
sure
ass.
why. Is that why she picked that spoon, you think? Or she wanted to turn my ass into Swiss cheese?
Yeah.
I don't know. But she got me with the wooden spoon a couple times. I think she felt fucking really bad about it and never did it again, though.
Yeah, that's another
Sorry,
form.
Mom.
It's a form of violence, that kind of shit. I mean,
Yeah,
I know a
no,
lot of
but
people spank their kids, and it's fucked up.
Still? Well, I know some.
Still.
Yeah.
You know.
That's
not.
a whole other podcast.
That's a whole other thing.
Yeah, but I think I'm lucky that I never had that in my life, and so maybe that's the difference. But and I'm sure that I'll bet you that guy in the Rolls Royce and the other two is just a piece of shit. His parents are pieces of shit, and so he's a piece of shit.
Yeah, or maybe
And I wish I could stay out of his life.
Maybe they're not. Too. That's the other thing. Sometimes they're not at all.
They're not at all what?
Pieces of shit. Like there are plenty of kids who
And he's just a bad egg.
Yeah, are bad eggs. Great parents.
Right.
That happens too. Man, I know.
Anyway,
That's crazy, man.
Crazy.
That's crazy.
I have to have a follow-up conversation.
You should, yeah.
Today.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, for sure. I think you got to stay on that one and
Yeah.
make sure it gets processed the correct way.
Yeah. And if you're out there, Rolls Royce guy, you're listening. Maybe you're a fan of Sonny. I don't know. Maybe that's why you decided to check out, because you were like, oh, I don't want to
beat this guy up. He makes me laugh.
Yeah.
I'll let him live. Maybe you're like, I killed too many people already today. I'll let this guy
I'm going to
go.
let him live.
It crossed my mind.
I killed a man
like,
for this Rolls Royce. You think
I'm
this
like,
is mine?
maybe
I can't
this
afford
guy
this.
actually has more discipline than I do. Maybe he's like a hired, maybe he is someone's driver and he's like a killer. I don't know.
You never know.
Who he
You
was.
never
You
know.
never know.
You never know.
But I'm not thinking that in the moment. I'm at a 10.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't think we're going to get to this episode. That's okay. I think this is just a side episode of the podcast where we
Yeah, sometimes you just got to talk about other things,
Yeah.
Which
Okay.
is fine.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'll let you know how the conversation goes with the kids, or offline. Maybe that's just good for one episode, I think.
Well, I don't know. Maybe we could do a follow up next time.
Okay.
See, just to see. Who knows? But is there something funny that somebody wants to say to entertain, or are we just going to talk at these people?
Well, I mean, there was a lot of fun in there.
I'd say a 44-year-old man getting almost into a fist fight in the InNOut parking lot. For
funny.
the sake of who gets the hamburgers first is pretty funny.
Yeah.
Definitely the thought of
It's
Mac.
sad.
Definitely the
It's
thought of
pretty good.
Mac getting beat up in front of a hamburger store
In front of his kids.
is very funny. In front of his children. Yeah.
It could have happened. It could have very easily happened.
It's just funny. When I was younger, like I didn't think about the consequences of getting in a fight. Like I didn't get in that many fights. I got in a few fist fights and nothing really ever that bad happened as a result. But, now I think about it. I'm like, don't break my hand, or like, you know what I mean? I'm going to fucking tweak my back. I'm going to throw my back out. It's just not worth it. You know what I mean? I'm like, or this guy's a psycho. He knows MMA and you know, I just think I can sort of like, usually I think I can psycho-eyes my way out of most of those. Like that has gotten me out of most physical altercations.
Psycho eyes?
No, really. I mean, like, because I get so furious. I get so enraged that the impression I give is that I will fucking kill you. I will fucking kill you. And
I've felt that.
for me?
Yeah. Well, I mean, in a comedic sense, that's what we try to harness. That's why it's so funny.
Yeah.
We all have that fire inside. Like, I think I could go pretty psychotic if I had to.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. No, you got it in you.
I'm dangerous.
Dangerous man. Charlie Day's a dangerous man.
Yeah,
everybody.
it was crazy.
Charlie Dangerous.
He's got a banana on his shirt. But that's all right. That's all right.
Well, God bless you guys. Thank you for hearing me out. And
Hey,
I guess
Rob.
we'll pick it up. Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah, hey Rob, really, in all seriousness, no, but in all seriousness, when you're talking about your kid, no, I'm just kidding. Fuck you.